Oil leaks are the worst. Fixing them isn't so bad, but when that new gasket leaks, it's a royal pain. The rear cam tower cap gasket is notorious for doing just that. Today we're going to fix that once and for all. Welcome to Budget Outlaws. Today we're working on the Porsche 944 that's been stored for 20 years. There is no residue on the exhaust, which leads me to believe that it wasn't leaking when parked, but it certainly is now. It's been a few years since I changed one of these, so I was hoping someone came up with something different from the factory style cork gasket. Well, my search was rewarded. The forums pointed me to eBay, where I found a silicone gasket sold for the Porsche 928. Well, fortunately the 944 and 928 share the same heads. So I picked up a set of those, and now I have a spare gasket for my son's car. Well, actually the job is pretty easy. It's 3 10mm bolts that are pretty easy to get to. I pulled it off and the old factory cork gasket just broke off in my hands. I cleaned it up and also the cam tower, and normally when I put the cork gasket on, I use weather stripping adhesive to glue the cork gasket to the cap that bolts to the back of the cam tower. I usually leave the cam tower side of this gasket dry. This allows easy removal from the cam tower, but it's still a pain to clean off the back of the cap, so be aware. And I've used this technique for several jobs that tend to leak, such as oil pans, valve covers, and so on. So just don't put it on both sides or you'll be hating life and me. It usually takes a wire wheel to get it off, so keep that in mind. Normally the torque is 6 foot-pounds on the 3 bolts, which for the cork gasket is often too much, and it squeezes out the gasket, which is why I use weather strip adhesive to lock it in place. But the new silicone gasket will leave both sides dry as well as both surfaces. And I was able to tighten it down to 6+ foot-pounds. I didn't torque it. And it didn't squeeze out the gasket. But I will pull the bolts back off and put thread locker medium on it. It's said that the most common reason for leaking on these is that the bolts come loose. Well, that makes sense because in my case, the bottom bolt was completely missing. Okay, so it's back together. Initial startups show no leak. The silicone should handle the expansion and contraction as well as the heating and cooling better than the cork gasket. And I have high hopes for this to solve the reoccurring cam tower rear leak. I'll report back in the description and or the comments. Hey, thanks for watching. I hope this helps. Remember to like, subscribe, and click the bell to be notified for future videos. Thanks a lot.